Leo Ascendant, Leo Rising. This is G, and I'm here with you to talk about the October frequencies. We're going to go over October, and I'm going to give you some nuggets of knowledge for November. October is the month of the setup, though. We started at the very beginning of at the very end of September. We had Saturn, who was the rule maker, the boss, the one in charge, the CEO, standing still. And Saturn is all about establishing order. Saturn is all about saying, these are the steps. These are the rules. There are no shortcuts. That is what Saturn is. Saturn is the one in charge that says, if you want to get to here, this is the steps you have to take to get there. So when Saturn stands still, it becomes very powerful. And this is in the sign of Capricorn. So all I have to do is find out where's Capricorn in your chart. And we're going to go through that because it's not just Capricorn. It's not just Saturn. It's not just Jupiter. It's not just Pluto. It's all three of the big boys, big girls. It's all three of those powerful, life-changing planets in one particular area of your life. We'll walk through this together, and we'll also take a look at some of the smaller things that could be irritations, that can be friction and testing for the month of October. Mercury retrograde is going to be happening this month. It goes from October to November, but we're going to look at the retrograde zones. And this is important to understand because whenever we're in a retrograde zone, okay, which is just a date on the calendar, there's all this emphasis on communication, on being very careful of the words that are said, being very careful about crossing the T's and dotting the I's, being very meticulous about what is understood. Never take for granted, never make an assumption about something when Mercury is in a retrograde. And this retrograde, we will go through, we will talk about it. Also go over a new moon for you this month. New moon is times of intentions, times of praying and wishing, a time when we understand the frequencies that are coming in and the type of energy they emit, therefore understanding what energy we're working with. So Leo, rub your hands together, get ready. We're going to talk about the power of prayer, the power of Leo, the power of you. Okay, so your Saturn, your Pluto, your Jupiter. We're just going to get right to it. Saturn, Pluto, Jupiter, they're all sitting in your sixth house of work, money, routines, health habits, income. This is your sixth house. You've got Capricorn energy there. Now, your sixth house, by nature, the sixth house is habits, daily routines, also health habits and health routines. It's the location of pets, domestic pets. It's also hygiene routines. When we first had this pandemic begin, we had a full moon in Virgo, and this was back in springtime. We had a big full moon, and Virgo is the sixth house. Virgo is all about our health habits, hygiene habits. It's all about making sure we are practicing the best practices for our overall best health. Virgo energy, you've got Capricorn there, which means you are constantly you enjoy having work habits. People who have Capricorn energy in their sixth house are the folks that just work tirelessly, endlessly. They're workhorses. They are workhorses. People talk about the earth signs being workhorses, and Capricorn energy is the third of the earth signs. They begin with Taurus, then Virgo, then Capricorn. And when we look at that, it being the last of the third sign, we have a better understanding of the meaning of that Capricorn energy. So when we mix that definition and that meaning into your sixth house of work routines, this is structured, organized work routines, but on a big scale because it's Capricorn. So it's like boss energy, CEO, the one in charge. Yes, it's the same as Saturn energy, and Saturn is there right now. So for some people, having Saturn and Jupiter and Pluto in your sixth house, there may have been health habits. There may have been health situations. There may have been health concerns that have risen to the top. And anytime we have big boy planets like that going through the house of health, it's a time of making sure you're taking care of you. Now, because it's Capricorn, Capricorn represents structures in the body. So spine, back, knees, structures of the body, teeth. Teeth is a big deal. Having problems with teeth, all of a sudden having a sore tooth or having an infection, this would be completely normal at this time. All that means is this is a time when you can expect you may have to pay more attention to your health. For the month of September, Saturn standing still meant that right at the butt end of that month, something occurred in your life, okay? Because it wasn't just Saturn standing still. It was Saturn squaring the planet Mars. And Mars is typically considered a malefic planet. And so I'll just break it down. Saturn standing still in your house means it's very powerful. When I talked about the structures of your body and it being 90 degrees away, squaring Mars, Mars is known to be the symbol for inflammations in the body. So I have heard from people who were talking about, oh, I've had toothaches, I've had this, I've had that, and this would have been typical at that time. But it would have eased off after a couple of days because the square was only tight for like a window of 3 to 4 days. And then depending upon your chart, your specific birth chart, it could have been longer or shorter because there are other factors in one's life that could either ease, add ease to something like this, or exasperate it, make it bigger than somebody else's experience. So let's keep in mind, let's go over the small details again of Leo Ascendant, Leo Rising. This is not your birthday. When I'm looking at a Leo Ascendant, Leo Rising, it includes your birthday. But in addition to your birthday, it is your birth time and your birth location. Then that gives me, the astrologer, your birth rising sign. So if you're listening because you're a Leo sun sign, which is what your Leo birthday is, a Leo sun sign, this can apply to you. But understand you may be listening and thinking, well, gee, I don't know. Not all of that makes sense for me. Well, that would be why. We need to get to the bottom of it. We need to go dig deeper. We need to understand what is your rising sign. If you're interested in that, just go down below and leave me your birth digits. Go down below, shout out to me, say, hey, G, I'm here. I want to know this. Just let me know. If you're not comfortable with leaving those private digits down below, some people aren't, just go to the website. The website's right on the channel page, or just go to astrog.com, astrogee.com, and you will find me there. It's private. It's just conversations between you and I, and nobody else can see those birth digits if you have an issue with that. Now, we're going to get on to we went to the 1st of October. At the 1st of October, there was a full moon. The full moon was in the sign of Aries energy. Now, here's the interesting thing about Aries energy. Arian energy also is your body. And that's where Mars is transiting through. And it's cardinal. And all you need to know about that is that cardinal energy squares the Capricorn energy. And so you've got all this stuff in Aries squaring your health. The 6th house, your Capricorn energy. So this is a time where it's like, man, I just got done with this in my body. Now I got to handle this. Now there's something else flaring up. Some people are experiencing being extremely tired right now. I know someone who has Arian energy in their 6th house. And boy, I'm telling you, ever since Mars started going retrograde, no, actually it wasn't since the Mars retrograde. It began as soon as Mars got to around 25 degrees. Because once Mars hit that 25-degree mark, it started squaring, Pluto and Saturn. And all of a sudden, they're just like, I don't know what's wrong with me. I have very low energy. And for me, I see their chart and I'm like, well, I know what it is. Like, I can see this. Not to say that astrology, means like you shouldn't go to the doctor or you shouldn't take care of other things or have a professional look at you. It's not to say that. But what it does say is you might want to go to the doctor and get this checked out. You may want to go and be certain there's nothing more serious. You may want to go and just get a professional, person who's a doctor to tell you, okay, you're all clear. There's nothing serious. Just take it easy, eat right, get the proper sleep, get some fresh air, get some sunshine. There are many things that we can do on our own that help us. And so when we see these squares line up, it's, okay, this is a time where you have to spend more time on your health, where you have to make sure you're getting your rest, where you have to make sure you have quality me time. And anytime I use the word square, that means it's stress, it's tension, and it doesn't feel good. Like, we don't like it, and it's rough. It's a difficult thing to deal with. So your Arian energy actually trines your Leo energy. So that's good. It trines your sun, that means. So that's powerful. That would be invigorating. And this is in your ninth house. And so what that means is ninth house is my beliefs. It's optimism. It's my thoughts, but it's deeper than a thought. It's a belief about something. And so this is typically the placement of religion, of philosophies on life. It's also traveling, long distances, by the way, like on an airplane type of traveling. Also has so much to do with your future, having that knowledge, that foresight to see down the road, and being very ambitious, but also maybe feeling, because it's Aryan energy, and Aries tend to be, they want to be the first one out of the gate at something. They want to be the one leading something, and they have a tendency to not think things through all the way when it comes time for those things to actually, manifest and to be, right? And so there is a lack of thinking. And this is where Mars is located. So it's your beliefs about your health, it's your beliefs about work that are all clashing at this time, and it's uncomfortable, really uncomfortable. This will pass because I have good news. All right, I have good news. And the good news is that Mars will be leaving this location. Therefore, Mars will no longer be squaring your house of health. It will be leaving. But this leave does not happen. You still have, we're in the, I forget what they call this, but it's like we're in the home stretch. Okay, that's the best way to put it. We're in the home stretch. We still have more work to do. You still have all of October, all of November, and all of December until Mars leaves that ninth house. And the reason that's important, again, is because once Mars gets out of the sign of Aries energy, it will no longer square your health. It will no longer square your sixth house, which is where your Capricorn energy is. And they square because they're both cardinal energies. And like energies create a 90-degree angle. Now, we move on to the new moon, okay? We have a new moon in October. And for you, this is happening in the sign of Libran energy. Now, this is cardinal energy. And you just heard me say that like energies create squares. So the thing is, the full moon was squaring your house of health. And now you're going to have a new moon that's also squaring your house of health. So here's the deal. Let's analyze the energy of this moon. Okay, a new moon is a time of prayer and of intention. This means that when you understand the energy that's present of the, that's coming through with the emanations of that new moon power, you understand how to work with the energies, with the tools, right? It's like, okay, I need to screw this screw in, but when I look in my toolbox, there's no screwdrivers. Like there's not a Phillips, there's not a flathead, there's nothing there. So how can I do the job using a hammer? I can't. So in other words, for the new moon, we understand what tools we have in the toolbox. And by saying, okay, we have a hammer, we have a chisel, and we have a wrench, okay? Like really like a vice grip, like one of those really small ones that can get on little things. So what sort of a project can we tackle knowing those are the tools that we have? And so that's exactly what this is. This is me about to say, here we go. Here's the tools. The new moon energy, the tools that we will have at our disposal is Libran energy because it's in Libra. Is in Libra at 24 degrees. Now this is a mastery. And when I say it's a mastery of being diplomatic. It's a mastery of being able to relate. It's a mastery of talking to people one-on-one, being able to connect in with them, being able to understand what they're saying, being receptive to what they have to say, being able to relate to them in ways where they know you understand them. Because you can then pull up some history, pull up a frequent experience and say, I get what you're saying. I remember a time when, and then there's this compatibility that develops. There is this understanding, this camaraderie. There is this oneness that is created, a bonding that starts to happen. And when you get that, you get two people who are willing. You get someone from over here and someone from over here, where they somehow understand we have a commonality. And it is the commonality that brings people together instead of pointing out the differences. And that's what this is. That's what Libran energy is. It's about, I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. Let's do something that will help both sides. And this is what this is. It's about being fair. It's the scale, the balance. That's what the Libra sign is. And it's saying we understand we have differences, but we also understand we have similarities. And there is nothing more beautiful for Libra to have beautiful communication. Communication that is harmonious, that is peaceful. This is Libran at its best. How to be the diplomat, to be able to connect in with different folks from different walks of life, from different belief systems, and saying, but at our very core value, we're just human beings. And that is our commonality. Even though we may have different spiritual beliefs, religious beliefs, we may have different ideas about our culture, our societies, our ways of living, different ideas about how to raise our children. But the bottom line is we need to eat, we need to sleep, we need to be loved, we need to be comforted. We have certain essential needs that are prominent, that are common with every living being. And we understand that and we see the connections. So this new moon, those are the tools we're working with. How to cooperate, how to come together regardless of our differences, how to communicate beautifully, how to recognize those that are our significant one-on-ones. This is a partnership energy, and it's a new beginning, new partnerships. And it is difficult because it's squaring your house of work. It's squaring your professional career. It's squaring your professional ambitions. So I know it's difficult. I have it too. We all do. But you have it squaring your house of health. It's in the house where it's your daily health habits, your daily hygiene, your daily professional routines. It's squaring that. So at this time, your new moon intention is how to prepare, how to better understand the others, how to better compromise with somebody in the workplace. Somebody, you may not even have a face, you may not have a name. This is about futures. This is about your wishes, hopes, and goals and dreams for your future. How to better overcome, how to better elevate to a place where you can be the diplomat. October 31st, there's a full moon. The full moon of October 31st is in the sign of Taurus. Now, this is another earth sign. This is good for your house of health because this will trine your Capricorn energy, okay? Taurus energy, it's trining, or it's a like element, like earth. So it's earth Taurus, earth Capricorn. This trines. So those difficulties you were having, you'll have a little bit of ease with the beginning because we go into the butt end of October, the beginning of November, and you've got the trine energy of that full moon. And it's not just the trine energy of the full moon, okay? The important thing to know about a full moon is its emotions, elevated emotions. But thankfully, do your work at the new moon time, okay? The new moon, if I didn't give you the date, I apologize. The new moon is on the 16th of October, so it's not that far. So October 16th, set those intentions for better communications with significant one-on-one professional relationships. The October 31st full moon is a culmination of energies, and that's not all. Uranus is involved in this. The full moon is conjunct Uranus. Understand that Uranus represents surprises, shocks and surprises. Uranus represents electricity and devices, any advancement for humanity. So this includes anything that helps us to travel. We travel digitally, right, online, but we can also travel the airwaves, literally, with airplanes. So Uranus energy is all about technical advancements. So anything that enables man to do something he couldn't do before. This is why usually many times people have problems with their laptops, with their computers, with their desktops, because Uranus energy is all of that, right? It's any device, any invention, any creative invention that helped humanity, that helped man advance in some way. And it is also air. It's an air sign, so we can't forget airplanes. Shocks and surprises are very possible at this time. For you, this does add a nice ease to your house of health and professional health, health habits, professional routines and projects. Keep in mind that all this stuff happening in your sixth house is really there to help you to better organize your life, your physical life, your health life, because you've got Capricorn in that house. Typically, people who have Capricorn in their 6th house, because they're these workhorses that have like, they will just not stop. They will keep climbing no matter what. And many times when that happens, there is a lack for taking a break. There is a lack for taking care of the body. There is this, but I can do it. I can do it. One more project. Okay, just in another hour, right? And just keep on working, keep on working. And there's just this constant drive, right? And after a while, if the machine isn't taken care of, things break down. So it's just a reminder of proper food, proper health, proper rest, lining it all up with our mind, with our mental health is important. Our spiritual health, our inner being is very important. Our inner peace is very important. And then this would lead me to your Cancerian energy. And so when I find out where that is for you, yeah, this is dreams, this is sleep. This is important. You're going to need sleep. This completely is at the opposite end of your house of work is sleep and rest. You might get information during that time when you're sleeping. And so pay attention to that. You could also, the only way to pay attention is to just log stuff down or talking to a recorder in the middle of the night or something. I know that might sound extreme, especially if you have a partner in the bed with you, but there's this connection that happens when you go to sleep. Because you have Cancer energy in that location, you're getting ancestral information. It's people from past lives, or it's, your ancestors, right? Like your mom's mom, your grandma, people from the old country. You're getting knowledge and information, and this is where it comes through in your dreams. And, if you're smart, it's difficult, but being able to troubleshoot dreams and their definitions, their meanings, and the validity of the information that comes through takes practice and time and patience. So at the end of October 26th, I'm in the States, and we're already hearing about cases of the virus starting to go up a little bit. And this was expected at this time of year in general, because typically this is flu season. I'm going to tell you what the astrological weather is. Astrologically, we have Neptune, which represents the pandemic, okay? We have Neptune, who has the power to make people and things disappear, all right? It's a 5D energy. It has the ability to dissolve anything in the 3D. Now, what's interesting is when we get near October 26th, Neptune and the North Node in Gemini start to square, that 90-degree square. They start angling up. Okay. And this is important to understand because Gemini energy is air, literally air, but Gemini is the talker. Okay. It affects the way you think. It's the talker. It's your ability to communicate and relate. It is social media. And already in the US, we're already seeing TikTok is being banned. And so when we see Neptune squaring the North Node, TikTok being banned, Gemini is social media. And that's fascinating because it lines right up with the astrology. And astrology always was and is. We didn't make the astrology up after the news of what's going on in the world. This was already here. Something with online, something with social media was going to be occurring. Something was going to be disappearing. I cannot help but also mention here that because Gemini represents our lungs and our body, represents the air that we breathe and our ability to speak, and Neptune and it squaring up, I would be surprised if we did not see an escalation in the COVID-19 cases. I'm going to add here, just so that we all understand, to be diligent in wearing the masks when we're in public, be diligent in washing of the hands, be diligent with packages that come in. And I know we get relaxed because we've been living with it for a while, and it's like, well, I'm not sick and you're not sick, so, it must not be real. Just understand, I'm just telling you what I see here. And what I see here is that for myself, I am thankful that I can see this, because then I can remind myself, okay, a package just came in, go wash my hands. I just got done doing something, go wash my hands, all right? I have to go outside, I don't feel like wearing my mask, but there's going to be people around. Put my mask on. I'm paying attention to this square, this angle, this Neptune squaring the North Node, squilling people's ability to breathe, right? This is going to be occurring. This square exists all the way until February of 2021. We're going to give you one little piece to walk away with. November 14th. November 14th, you're going to have a new moon. And the new moon on November 14th is going to be in the sign of Scorpio energy. I'm bringing this up because this is after the election. If you live in the United States, we have an election on November 3rd. The election of November 3rd is going to be a very fascinating astrological case study because Mercury is going retrograde October 11th. October 11th. Now remember, Mercury is our thinking and our communications. A month ago, I was trying to share this information that Mercury going retrograde in October, and not just going retrograde in October, information, we don't have all the information. Mercury is the information. It's the one that keeps track of the details, the tallies. That's who Mercury is. Mercury is all about, okay, I'm the one who takes in all the data, all the information. I keep track of it. So this is without a doubt a guarantee, just because I understand the meaning of Mercury, that when Mercury retrogrades, the purpose of that retrograde is something was left behind. It goes back into the sign of Libra, actually. It goes back into the sign of Libra like at 25 degrees, and it gets information that it didn't have. Something was forgotten, something was dropped, something was left behind. It picks it up, and then it has to take it forward. And it carries this information. And when it takes it forward, it won't be until November 3rd, on election day, that Mercury arrives with the information. So what this means for us in the States is that after the election, when Mercury then goes direct, after the election, after November 3rd, we're going to understand this. Mercury's retrograde zone began, we're going to use the calendar. Mercury's retrograde zone began on the 23rd of September. So what that means is from the 23rd of September all the way until November 3rd, any information, any news, anything you come across during that time, understand that not all the information is there. Something is missing. Which is why we do not recommend people to sign really important documents during a Mercury retrograde, because odds are you'll have to redo the paperwork. Remember the word redo. Keep that in mind. Odds are that there's something that, whether it was deliberately left behind, it's just that during a retrograde time, because Mercury's ability when it goes backwards is it digs and it picks up little nuggets that got dropped. And those nuggets are information. So from September 23rd to November 3rd, this is a time where information, conversations, discussions, communications, emails, things in the news, things on social media, whatever's occurring at this time, you don't have the whole story. You don't have all the information. So the new moon on November 14th, November 15th, depending upon where you live in the world, it happens at 11:07 p.m. And this new moon in Scorpio energy, Scorpio is all about my relationships, my bonded relationships. It is all about energetic bonds. It's all about deep emotional healing as well. So we're going to use that energy, knowing that those are the tools, those are the energies, right, that are at hand for us. We can then say, okay, I have this in what area of my life? For you, Leo Ascendant. Leo Ascendant has Scorpio energy in the 4th house. So this is deep emotional bonds with people, with your family, people who are family members. But here's the thing, Leo. You're going to have deep emotional bonds with people from past lives in this lifetime. And if you don't like the words past lives, then you're going to have deep emotional bonds with people who feel like family members, even though they aren't your blood family, but you likely are going to have deep, deep connections with people in your life, and you're just bonded. You don't even know why. You just are. Many times it can simply be because, again, our family came from the same country. You know, we have those common connections like that. There's going to be something, whether it's family heritage, it's all about family. Family and mother. Mother's a big word here. But there's this emotional satisfaction you get when you're around these types of people. But there's a healing that can occur. So I like this location for you during this new moon. This is the opportunity to do some healing that's from other lifetimes. This can give healing to wounds that you received earlier in this lifetime. But these are deep wounds, energetic wounds that need healing. And that's not all that it is, because it's likely also with people who are in your family, okay? People who are in your, that you literally share blood with. But it's a time where we're setting the intentions, putting up our prayers to God, Father, Mother, to the universe, Allah, whoever, Yahweh, whatever you understand to be your deity or not, this is powerful. It's Scorpio, your solar power. SOULULAR, your solar power. Solar power is a power that is very deep, that goes below the surface. It's an energy that is beyond your physical body, that surpasses the 3D. It's got nothing to do with, oh, I'm so strong, I've been working out. It's got nothing to do with that at all. This is a time where you can make a lot of things right. If you focus, you can move forward in some big ways and creating some wonderful healings. And once those healings occur, they're going to dissolve bonds. They're going to dissolve energetic bonds that are no longer for your best. And this is beautiful because then this will help your future. This will help you to be free. You will no longer be energetically heavy. You will have amended everything. You have healed, and you can move together forever. You can energetically fly, and fly high, Leo. Fly high as you can see the sun up there, and how far away it is and how big. Leo, this is power time. This is a time when you can use the solar power. Remember, you already have the power of the sun, SUN. You have that power within you, Leo, and that is the life force. But you also get to combine it with your soul's power. Combining it with your soul's power makes you a power source. And having this with the new moon intention means this is a time of freedom, a time to literally start a new journey, a new path, a new life, and make new family.